Sticking with Tesla for a minute, here's a story. Here's one way they can continue this path towards global automobile electric vehicle dominance. Tesla Model 3 police cars pay for themselves faster than expected, says police chief. So here we have a police department that purchased a number of Tesla Model 3s to replace their aging cruisers. They were, I believe, Dodge Chargers were replaced by Tesla Model 3s. And the goal here was to get a relatively high performance vehicle. You drove the Model 3, Will. You know what's going on. You hit the pedal on a Model 3, you're moving.
Oh, yeah.
You're
It's
going.
fast.
You're heading in a direction.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of torque. I know you're a big torque guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had to replace these Dodge Chargers. They were looking for something affordable, as you would. You know, in these departments, they have budgets, and they're able to track their spending and figure out how efficient the ownership of one of these vehicles is from a cost perspective. When you have a gasoline vehicle, you're burning fuel. It's costing you a few bucks, costing you money. However, with the Model 3, the cost savings, they can come down the road. You may have a slightly higher upfront cost, but then you're not pumping gas into it, and presumably the cars are requiring less maintenance. That's what you're getting from this article right here. So they did the analysis, the cost analysis, and they have determined that the break-even point is actually going to be 19 months of ownership, as opposed to what they had originally projected as being 2 years of ownership. The reason that this is interesting is because in a department, in a law enforcement department, they're really using these vehicles in a way that a regular citizen really doesn't push them. By that I mean tremendous amount of miles and being put on a vehicle in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Real stress testing.
You're scanning the city.
You're constantly moving, and the thing is always running, even when you're not necessarily driving.
You're idling.
It's turned on all the time, and so it's for a regular customer. This gives you a sense of confidence to know if it can pass the stress test that a police department could put on a vehicle. Now you're motivated yourself, saying, "Okay, that's probably a somewhat decent vehicle." Now it's important to note. It's not like these things have been rolled out in a tremendous number of police departments. There's about a dozen, I believe, at this point. This is just the latest one. And this police department has only bought 5 of them. So the transition takes time in these type of scenarios. You're moving over a lot of aged vehicles. You're going to wait for those ones to die and then replace them and think about putting a Tesla in place. And you really need a bigger sample size to figure out for sure if they make the best police cruiser, commercial vehicle. However, these 5 Model 3s, this department is very happy with, and it's a signal, just yet another good sign for Tesla that, I mean, imagine if it sets some sort of chain reaction, that's a lot of vehicles that would transition over, and those sales typically go to domestic automakers, whether it's Ford. You see around here a lot of Ford Explorers for police vehicles. You also see Ford F-150s are starting to be police vehicles, and you do see the odd Dodge Charger as well.
Yeah.
So when one department changes, has a good result, the rest of them can say, okay, it works over there, it's probably going to work over here, and then it can flip, and well, the rest will be history. We could see a massive penetration of electric vehicles fast if these various departments choose to pick them up.